Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to do gear ratios day one. And so here is our virtual lesson, and we can come down here to the warm-up and we can answer the first two questions. And remember that you can always click over here where it says click here to complete the warm-ups and notes electronically, and that will take you to a view only of the actual assignment pages. And so in order to be able to edit this electronically, you do need to be signed in with your Google Drive, and then you need to go ahead and do file, make a copy. So right now it says I can't make a copy. I just need to make sure that I sign in. And now I can do file and I can make a copy of the entire presentation, just like it says right down here, and then have it be placed in my Google Drive. And then later, if I want to make sure that I organize each of my files, I can always come up here as soon as it loads. You should be able to see a little folder that shows up right next to the star, and then you can decide where in your Google Drive you'd like it for it to go. So you can even create a new folder here. And so now we're going to take a look at what we're going to do with our lesson. And so we're going to be simplifying our gear ratios, and we're going to be talking about what's happening with torque and speed, and then we're also going to show our work here. So if you can't remember what those two facts were, technically there were four facts about speed and torque, you can always come back here to Mechanisms Day 2, and you can read about the different facts that we learned about for speed and for torque. And so we can always reference those, and those are linked in the assignment as well. So we're going to do this first part of the assignment together. And so we need to know what the simplified gear ratio is for 25 to 15 and what is happening to speed and torque. So I know that the input is 25 because we know in gear ratios that the first number is always the input, and I know that the output is always 15. And so like we saw in our actual lesson, these are the different tools that we're going to be using. So obviously we can type in these text boxes, but the tools that we're going to be using, we have an increasing and we have a decreasing, so an arrow showing going up and down. We have just a little shape that says that that it's constant. We have a solution box, so we know that we always put our simplified gear ratio in a box. And then we have a text box so that we can type numbers. We have two different division signs, so depending on how you choose to do your division, you have this option, and we also have this one. And then we also have an equal sign, and then of course we have the colon to go in between to represent the word to, so 25 to 15, and there's our little colon here. And so those are the shapes that we have, and we know we can use them over here to the left. And so when I'm coming in here to my practice, I know that my gear ratio is 25 to 15. You can fill out the torque and speed if you already know it, or you can go ahead and do your showing your work first. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to select my shapes, and I can move them over here into our work area, or I can Control C to copy and Control V to paste, or you can right click and copy and paste. So I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to come over here, just click on another blank space, and I'm going to paste so that I can pick it up and move it. And I need to show that I've got 25, then I've got my colon, copy it, paste it, 25, 2, and then if I want to just copy the 25 that I have here, do Control C and Control V to paste, to 15. So here is my gear ratio. And the first way I'm going to show you how to do this is I'm going to do the lines like we did in our other lessons. So this is my division, and I need to know the greatest common factor that goes into both of these numbers. So the greatest common factor that I know of right now off the top of my head is a 5, and I know both 25 and 15 are divisible by 5. So I'm going to grab a division sign, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. I'm going to copy the 15, bring it down here, make it a 5, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And so you can hold down the Control key and click on more than one shape. So if I hold down the Control key, I can select both of them. That's how I was able to move them both at the same time. And so I've got 25 divided by 5 and 15 divided by 5. I'm going to grab my equal sign. And so my new gear ratio should be 25 divided by 5 is 5. And then 15 divided by 5 is not 5, it is 3. So my new gear ratio, my simplified gear ratio, because I can't simplify any farther than this, is 5, 2, 3. And so I'm going to grab my solution box and I'm going to Control C to copy it, Control V to paste it, take out the word solution, and then I can put the box around it. And so my new gear ratio, or my simplified gear ratio, is 5 to 3. And so if I can remember about torque and speed, we need to figure out if torque is increasing or if it's decreasing. Well, we know that if the output gear, which would be the 15, which is the 3 here, if it is smaller than the input gear, then our torque is going to decrease. And then if the torque is decreasing, we know that the speed is going to increase. And so this is what you would be doing here. And you see that I didn't copy and paste. I knew I was only going to use those arrows once, so I just dragged them up into the correct place. And so number 1 is now completed. And so this is what you're doing for each of the assignments. Another way for you to do the math, so here's the example that we just did, is to do something like this. You can use the division sign and you can show that you are dividing both 25 and 15 by 5, and then you have your solution, and then you just need to make sure that you put them back in the correct order for the input and output. That's why I like to do it like this, because it keeps my input and my output in the correct place, and so I don't accidentally flip the numbers, and that helps me make sure that I get the correct solution. So good luck, and if you need help, you are welcome to check the notes.